the reaction towards it and saying, hey, why aren't they asking for gun control now? Because we're doing what the right actually respects, which is Charlie Kirk's wishes. That there is no gun control. We shouldn't have these restrictions. Some people gotta die for it to happen. Tough. So unfortunately, we're just agreeing with what Kirk's perspectives were. And at the same time, I just find it absolutely ridiculous, this bullshit absolute virtual signal that comes from every single member of the outrage that comes towards certain comments, when you can have Laura Loomer and the rest of her fucking cronies on Twitter go ahead and post every 3 seconds about how they're glad that immigrants are going to die soon, or, hey, that's 60 million more meals for the alligators, or, yeah, 2,000 more dead soon, and that's completely fine. But the moment someone like me has a PTR like this, showing a fucking Flex Seal ad with Charlie Kirk's face on it, all of a sudden, I'm the villain, I'm the one with no sympathy, blah, blah, blah. Go fuck yourself and your rage-baited outrage. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Please don't act like the other party that you always call snowflakes 24/7 and so sensitive over jokes. Now you can't handle one just because it's applied to your party.
Thank you, XG. Hakeem, hold on 1 second. I'm going to go Tio, Andre, then Steve. Tio? Tio, are you there?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the mic. No, but I'm gonna say it's like RP to the dude and everything that's like that. I don't think no one should die if you have like lighter rig saying bring back public execution. Don't celebrate Juneteenth. Gay people shouldn't live. What does he said? If I go in an airplane, if I see a black person up front, I'm gonna question if he can fly. I'm okay with black people pushing paperwork, but when I see them in a higher position, I'm wondering how they even got that position. Just different things like that, and you preach about violence that's on other people. You don't care about violence. You say sympathies for weakness and different things like that, but everything you talk about, your fan base wants you everybody to feel the opposite, and that's weird.
Except that stuff no more described every Republican than the terrible stuff the right says about the left. Like, there are people who have extreme views, there are people who cheer that kind of shit, but it's not most people, it's not even half the people. It's not half the people on the Democratic side, it's not half the people on the Republican side. The assumption of malice by both parties is how we get to a worse place. And as far as the comments on gun control, short of getting rid of the Second Amendment, I'm not entirely sure what people want. If they want like classes of firearms to be banned, if they want it to go away, if people want it to go away, there's an amendment process. It just takes 2/3 of the Congress and 3/4 of the states. And if you can't pass it, you can't pass it because people don't agree.
Marshall, how about better mental health checks before people get gun licenses? How about that?
Dude, I agree with that. I think that's a good idea. It's going to go before the court to see if it's an undue burden. But yeah, I agree with like safety checks and, you know, hey, if you're young, we want to make sure you're in the right state of mind, right? But that'll be litigated, and I can't predict what the litigation will say.
Thank you, Marshall.
Hey, JB, who gonna pay for the? You know, that's gonna be a big issue. Who gonna pay for the mental health check? Because if you telling the person they got to pay for them, then that'd be an undue burden.
That's on them.
But you telling the state they got to pay. You telling the state they got to pay for it. Like, no, but if it's on, it's not just on them. It'll be unconstitutional. It'll be an undue burden. Last point, JB. But if you telling the state to pay for it, and everybody talking about it costs too much. So like.
Well, listen, if you could afford a gun license, if you could afford a gun, you could afford the evaluation to be clear.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
So let's get back to the queue, guys. I'm gonna go Andre, Steve, BLM, and then Montel. Andre, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jerry. So, the whole celebrating tongue-in-cheek, quote unquote irony about a political association is just degenerate. Okay, so if you are normalizing that type of behavior, it's also myopic, because as soon as you normalize that type of public execution, it's not only the opposing side is gonna, catch the heat. It's the backlash that to me is the most concerning thing, because there is going to be anger. There's going to be, proponents to violence, and my theory is that the people who's going to be spearheading that is not going to be the type of people who will use that energy with any kind of conscientious filter. and so the backlash is going to be horrible as well. Now, just a point of correction, a couple of things. Like I've heard over the past couple of days, people just cherry picking the quotes, like the one about the pilot is taken out of context, obviously. The one about he never actually said anything about sympathy. He said that he prefers sympathy. He was making a comment. If you listen to the whole soundbite, he was talking about how empathy had been used, this neutral relationship has been used for political gains by people that he obviously doesn't endorse politically. So it had nothing to do with saying that empathy or sympathy should not be given to other person. And the thing about gun rights that he said, once again, is taken out of context. If you listen to his whole to this whole section, he's talking specifically about the balance between protecting all the other rights and having access to the guns in order to do it. So he was talking about basically the trade-offs, and that it is an appropriate trade-off in his opinion. But I just want to stress that endorsement or celebrating or kind of gloating over a political assassination, that's a fairly degenerate exhibition.
I just got one question.
Guys, here.
Hey, Andre, why do you think they allowed that degenerate activity to be elected to the White House and hold the highest office? Because the same type of degenerate activity you're talking about. Somebody celebrated hundreds of people storming the U.S. Capitol in an insurrection, killing police officers, and then he let them off and let them out of jail and called them heroes and given some of them awards, right? So if you're saying that that's degenerate behavior, why do you think half of the country decided to elect that type of degenerate behavior to lead the country?
So just to be clear, I just want to make sure that you understand my position. I think the insurrection was an attempt for a coup. I think that people, especially the violent perpetrators, should be still in jail. I think that the decision of letting him out was not a smart one.
No, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm saying the point is,
this is a disclaimer. This is not my answer yet, CO.
They were and still are celebrated.
CO, I haven't answered your question. I this is a caveat before I'm going to answer your question. So this is my position towards the January 6th attempted coup. Now, said that, there were no police deaths that resulted from their activity. There was one death on the other side. Yeah, that's true. And so your point sort of becomes moot because there's no celebration of death on that in that sense. Now, I condone, and I think on the right, any celebration of any sort of political assassination is also degenerate. So it's not just one side that should be looked at. Does that make sense?
Hold on a second, Andre. But you're being disingenuous. The gentleman who went to Wisconsin with an AR from Illinois,
Kyle Rittenhouse.
He's been celebrated for him killing people in Wisconsin. So I can go for days on people that have done this thing. I'm just saying.
Well, wait, you consider Kyle Rittenhour as a murderer? He was doing it in self-defense. I mean, I think at this point everybody should have seen the videos and looked at the court record.
Okay, so he took an assault rifle to go somewhere and self-defend himself, is what you're saying, right? To go to
not self-defend. He was defending, I think, the business owners in the day.
Okay, so Billion gets to take an AR and go defend business owners, and then he gets held up as a hero.
He was attacked. Was he not?
I see my point. I'll let you finish, JB. Back to you.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, we should get our facts straight before we start.
Well, actually, I don't think any of the facts that you said about the situation are accurate, but I'll let you speak.
I think they've been...
What do you mean? They were completely accurate. You said that the police officers were killed off.
Well, actually, he said several things about the actual Kirk situation, where he tried to mansplain his verbiage. I don't agree with anybody being shot, but I also know for factually that Charlie Kirk was a hate monger. And he literally wanted the destruction of groups of people, and that's a fact. That's not theoretical, and we can. I wish we could advance the conversation to where let's just say everybody should not want someone to die unnecessarily, right? That's not cool. But beyond that, in terms of what his legacy was and the actual things that he said, Andre just put out a bunch of BS in terms of trying to explain.
No, I did not.
That guy got
Can actually play the tape and refute what you're saying. I just listened to.
Go ahead.
And
Do it.
what you just said is literally not true.
It literally is true. So what you need to do is, instead of listening to the bites, what you need to do is listen to the whole conversation, the context of it.
Andre, you muted up. Were you finished? See, here's the thing I don't understand. Thank you, Andre. I don't understand. We want to relitigate cases to fit our narrative. From what I understand, the man was found not guilty. Now, see, I agree with you. Cross state lines with an assault weapon, you don't have good intentions.
He didn't.
But, but here's the thing. He was found not guilty. So we're going to relitigate a case to fit our narratives?
Yes, if the case wasn't done properly. Yeah, and just so we're clear, JB, there's a lot of cases where people are found guilty or not guilty that are incorrect. Like a lot of people, harassed O.J. Simpson for the entirety of his life, but he was found, quote unquote, not guilty. So the courts definitely have problems, right? So that particular person crossing it, there's no way in the world that I would ever accept the reality that that's self-defense, because it was intentionality with an assault rifle. So
Yo, he didn't cross state lines.
he came from Illinois.
His dad lived in Kenosha.
I'm confused. Why are we supplanting the court of public opinion what a U.S. court actually says? The point is, we have to be judged by the same rules. The court of public opinion is ruled by the mob. Why in the fuck did we want that?
What do you say, Marshall?
Give me about 10 seconds.
All right, let me come back to you, Marshall. But in the meantime, let me go to Steve and then BLM. Steve, are you there?
Yeah, this thing with Kyle Rittenhouse is the most convoluted, asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. The guy was going into a riot zone. Who wouldn't want to have some protection? He got beat in the head with a skateboard. Some guys were coming after him with a gun. There's video, 4 or 5 guys coming after this guy, trying to seriously injure and maim the guy, and he defended himself. And that somehow, that's the same thing as what happened here. You've got to be kidding me. Well, I think we are done. If we're going down this path, we're going to make this association, and we're going to tie these two things together. We're done. This is the most convoluted and asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. You should be ashamed of yourself.
So if I disagree with you, Steve, then we're done? Is that what you're saying? Is that America?
No, when you try and pull this, buddy, when you try and take a guy that went into a riot situation, that took a gun to protect himself in someone's business, and then the man is attacked by 4 or 5 guys, and a guy has a gun, and he defends himself, and you try and draw a line between that and what happened, cold-blooded assassination, and you equivocate these two things? No, dude, this is wrong. This is just fucking wrong.
You're conflating
It's fucking wrong.
You're conflating my points, but America's...
No, there's no conflation. What you're trying to do is draw an equivalence that does not hold.
Not drawing
That's a bullshit thing, man.
Hey, Steve,
You should be ashamed.
are you surprised he got attacked in the riot zone, huh? He went to a riot zone and he's surprised he got attacked. I got to see him.
So, Steve, just because...
So hold it. Let me understand this. If I go into a violent situation and I got something to protect myself, and 4 or 5 dudes come up and try and bust my ass and try and kill me, and I defend myself, somehow I'm the same as a guy that comes out, gets in a prone position, and shoots a dude in the head? You've got to be kidding me.
Why are you going to a violent situation?
Hold on a second. Hold on.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh,
You can't answer that question. My fault, Steve.
Oh, hey, hold on, everybody. Just 1 second, really quick. Let's just get clear on the facts, because that's what we can do, right?
Yeah, let's get clear on them, CO.
So,
Let's
yeah.
clear them.
Okay, so just be really clear. The try to draw was
I
not.
didn't draw it. You did.
Okay, hold on a second though. Just hold your
I
mouth.
didn't draw nothing. You tried to equate these two things as bullshit.
Actually, I didn't. That's just your inability to process the conversation. So I'm going to help you through. Hold tight with it. Hold tight. For a second, and I'll pass it to JB for the cue. Andre was talking about behavior, right? Regarding the celebration. I actually said that no one deserves to die by a bullet unnecessarily for their views or for any other reason that we don't know, right? That's what I said, Steve, just so we're clear. Andre was talking about is degenerate behavior, right? To celebrate people who kill someone. And I gave him two analogies to Andre's position that had no relation.
That's a correct presentation of my views, just so you know. Do you want me to correct you? I'll correct you. So I was talking about specifically political assassinations, okay?
Well, I thought you corrected me. I'm telling you, my point was my point, right?
Yeah, but you're making a comment about what I've said. This is what I've said, so let's represent things correctly, okay?
Well, hold on. Okay, Andre, steps. Just 1 second. My point, not your point. I said I responded to your point, and I was speaking to degenerate behavior around celebrating someone being killed. And I made the point about the insurrection. You responded that no one was quote unquote killed in the insurrection, which is not true. But here we
It's
are.
true. It is true. There's no one killed in that insurrection.
No, Andre didn't say that. Andre, you guys are misquoting. He never said that. He said somebody was killed, a police officer was killed. Like,
Yeah, there's some listening comprehension problems. That's okay. Thank you.
So everybody just popped off on something the man didn't say? Wow.
yes. Literally, this is the irony of the conversation. Somebody popped off on Charlie Kirk for things he didn't say.
Well, let me just jump in real quick. Let me jump in here real quick. And I find, and this is one of the main problems that we have in this country, is we want to relitigate a case to fit our narrative, which deflects off what we were talking about, right? Because Kyle Rittenhouse has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk, just because they were both conservative and white, right? But we just want to deflect to fit our narrative. Let me go to BLM because he's been patient away. BLM, good morning.
Good morning. You know, this is my 2 cents.
Oh, look who it is.
Is that number one? Is that again political violence?
All right, I don't want that piece of shit in my spaces. Let's continue the conversation. Marshall, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to chip in and echo this piece about relitigating cases. I wanted to ask a question. Why are we in this conversation, and CEO, I'm going to push back on you a bit. Why are we substituting rule by a court of law, which has a set of rules, procedures, and rights, for rule by mob justice, rule by the court of public opinion? Why are we supplanting public opinion for what a court actually said? Public opinion and the court of public opinion is extrajudicial, has no rules or rights, it's outside of the Constitution the way it's used. Why would we put a court case or an idea on that particular concept instead of going the other way? It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't quite grasp why we're going the other way with this. I mean, if you could provide me with an explanation, I'd appreciate it, because I'm a little lost here.
Hey, Marshall, what are you talking about? The Kyle Rittenhouse story? Tell me what you're saying again.
So we were talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, and several people said a couple of things. You used the word murdered and then killed, if I'm recalling your words exactly. What I'm asking is, why are we supplanting the court of public opinion? Oh, he murdered somebody, for what the court of law says, which is that he used self-defense and he was within his rights. Why do we move the discussion to a place that has no rules or rights versus keeping it in a place that has a specific set of rules, a specific set of rights, and a specific set of procedures? At least if it's in the court of law, we're talking about what code or law says. If we stick it into the court of public opinion,
nobody's allowed to say anything about past court cases. And while I can't stop people from thinking about stuff, I again am not sure why we're taking stuff that's already been adjudged through the system we all agree to use when we have problems, why we're being selective, why we're saying, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me respond to that. And it's just extremely disingenuous. And you're usually logical, right? So maybe it's just something that happens on Friday mornings. But we live in a country where I'm not speaking for public opinion. I'm telling you my opinion. And I have a strong opinion. And nobody in this room is an expert that I know of necessarily on every particular case that happens in court.
I am.
Here's what we do know, right? What we do know is that there are a lot of bad decisions that are made in courts by the humans that are adjudicating the case or reviewing the cases. And here's a point that I would make, and then I'll close here and we'll pass it back over to JP for the cue. Do you have that same outrage all day, every day as the administrator in the court of law that has...
Yes, I hate whenever things are litigated in the court of public opinion. I think it is damaging.
Let me just get that point out so you can disagree with the proper thing, right? What I'm saying is our president has spent his entire life fighting legitimate cases, right? And calling them incorrect, regardless of what the court says or public opinion is. He literally right now is fighting cases, fighting the Constitution, fighting actual laws in the Constitution, fighting amendments. So he's challenging laws all day, every day. And
yeah, but isn't that within his right? He's going through the legal system to do it.
But listen to the irony and the hypocrisy of what you just said. He has the right to challenge laws, but he's often wrong because he's been sued hundreds of times.
Yes,
and had
the place we judge that's in a court.
Yeah, but hold on a second. You're missing my point. What I'm saying is you're challenging my ability to have an opinion on a court case when court cases are meant to be challenged, is my point. That these are humans that are making these decisions. So I live my opinion in a room full of opinionated people who half the time don't know what the frick they're talking about, and you're making some egregious rage situation that I have an opinion on a case. That's why I'm saying it's disingenuous.
So hold on. I should.
One is legal challenge, and the other one is
hold on a second, Andre.
Two different things.
Andre, hold on. Marshall, hold on 1 second, because I want to address something in the chat that was said. Give me 1 second to find it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Jennifer Sullivan. Charlie Kirk asked for the Patriot, quote, who assaulted Pelosi's husband, to be bailed out. He fueled hate and divide. Why are we arguing over this guy? Jennifer, we're arguing because he spoke for a certain segment of America that felt they were being repressed for many, many years. And he didn't speak for me because I don't agree with a lot of things he said. But he was a voice for people who felt they were voiceless. And that's why I think he was so popular, and that's why people are speaking on him. And I find that it's weird to me that this one guy is so polarizing. Either you loved him or you hated him. There doesn't seem to be any in between. It makes no sense to me. But, go ahead, Marshall, you want to say something? Then we're going to go popcorn style.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, see, I should have been much more circumspect with my language. I wasn't necessarily trying to refer to you specifically. When the case was brought up in the discussion, I reflected back the discussions I've had in real life and on Facebook. And a lot of those discussions post-verdict have been like, well, he murdered somebody anyway. So I should have said there seems to be this collective group of some people in America who believe that. I shouldn't have cast aspersions your way, so sorry.
But, I mean, just to be fair, it's two completely different things, and they're confused, and they're not the same. One is a legal challenge in court. Another is a personal opinion. Those are not the same thing. So giving your personal opinion is not the same as giving out a legal challenge, number one. Number two, it's a composition fallacy to say that just because there are several cases that were adjudicated incorrectly and were overturned later, that means all of them can be scrutinized to the same level and standard and can be taken as if they were adjudicated incorrectly. So that's a fallacy.
I don't know. Like I said, for me to want to relitigate, hold on a second, CSM, hold on, I got you. Sam, hold on. We're going to relitigate cases. Let's relitigate the Daniel Penny case, right? He was found innocent by his peers. I think he murdered that dude. But we got to respect the system, right? Isn't that why the system's in place?
No, fuck that. According to y'all, O.J. Simpson's innocent? Like, what the fuck, are y'all stupid or what?
Had it been challenged legally?
Well, he did lose the civil suit.
That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing.
But you do understand the separation of two, right? One is public court and a personal opinion. The other one is legal procedure.
Andre, it's insane to argue that people can't have an opinion on people.
That's not what I said. Please stop strawmanning. Please stop strawmanning.
These rooms, for whatever it's worth, man, Clubhouse people talk and don't have guardrails on any conversation. And most people don't know what the hell they're talking about everything. And so to create some boundary around, you can't have a conversation about court cases once they've already been adjudicated, is the silliest conversation in the world. JB can really talk about something serious now.
I just hold on, Andre, because you're in the matrix anyway. I just find it. You're in the matrix, dude. I just find it funny that we want to, like I said, relitigate these cases to fit a certain narrative, right? That's fine. You know, is there a two-tier justice system in America? Of course there is. There always has been. But to say that, CM, I'm going to boot you, bro. You got to stay on mute. But, you know, to sit here and say that Kyle Rittenhouse is the same vein as Charlie Kirk and the people that say, hold on, let me finish, bro. Let me finish, and then you can say whatever you want. I'm sorry that what I'm saying doesn't fit your narrative. Doesn't mean I don't still love and respect you. I disagree with you, Cio.
No, but you.
And if you don't like how I run my rooms, you know, listen, I don't know what to tell you, brothers. I've been running for 5 years.
No, I'm just saying, JB, I just want you to just don't misquote me. You just made an equivalency that I never made, and that's the part that's dangerous. I don't think it's dangerous to have an opinion on something. I think it's dangerous that we continue to allow misinformation to proliferate and not listen to one another. What I was saying, JB, is that what they keep saying I said, I did not say. That has not been my point. We were talking about it because we were talking about a tangent like happens in all these rooms, right? So, and the concept of let's not relitigate elections once they're won. There's a lot of stuff that I wish our government and people in government should not relitigate. So to have people on Clubhouse admonishing somebody from quote unquote relitigating a decision in a courtroom that they disagree with is sheer insanity to me. And I respect your position.
You know what's insanity to me, Cio? We can legitimately sit here and relitigate every case that's been in front of every court and have different people with different opinions on how the outcome came. But, you know, to me, I'm going to be honest with you, it's kind of cherry picking. And that's what every side does, the left, the right, the libertarians, right? They want to pick their narrative to make themselves right. And like I said, I brought up Daniel Penny. You want to talk about that? To me, that was murder. The guy choked the guy out, but he got away with it. Andre, go ahead.
So just to be clear, litigation is something that is done in court. It is not done on Clubhouse. So when you're saying that I want to litigate something, go right ahead. File a lawsuit for something to be overturned. You're not litigating here. Here, you're just airing your.
Just move on, please.
You're just voicing your opinion. Nobody is preventing you, but you. The problem.
Litigate for a conversation, just so we're really clear, right? But just please move on and let's get past this point for JB's room.
All right, let me do a quick room reset. Guys, community conversations and collaboration. Charlie Kirk's killer has been caught. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was turned in by his father. Amazing. So I asked the fathers in the room, or the any parent actually, would you turn your kid in? I'm not turning my kid in. I don't care what he did.
If they did political assassination.
No, I'm not turning them in.
What?
Hey, some breaking news. The shell case in the accused, Charlie Kirk said, hey, fascist, catch.
It said, hey, fascist what?
Catch.
Oh.
I mean, didn't old boy do the same thing to his shit? They said Luigi Mangione did.
Well, listen, I think the case. Adrian, let me just finish my reset, and then I'm gonna address what you just said.
My bad.
No worries. Good morning, Jennifer Johannes. Good morning, Portugal. How you doing? Joy. Good morning. Carrie, Tiffany, Sweet guys, you got it. Big Brandy, cash in your pink tickets. They're free. You don't have to pay for them. Brother, cash in yours. Cindy, cash in yours. Riri, I don't want to read, guys. Don't bring Riri up. Riri's probably drunk. So to piggyback off what you were saying, Adrian, I see a lot of similarities with the healthcare CEO in the sense of you're going to see a lot of these lunatics support this guy, Tyler Robinson. And they're going to support what he did. And he's going to get a lot of money for his defense. They're going to start GoFundMes. It's crazy when we, in my opinion, when we justify homicide. What do you think, Adrian?
I think you're right. Also, another thing that's going to happen, I mean, we're seeing it happening in real time. A lot of copycats. Motherfuckers going to want their time in the spotlight. They're going to want to redo what they saw someone else do. I mean, look, we live in a culture where people are not themselves and they want to be other people and they idolize other people. So when someone does something that's viral or something that gets the clicks, I want that as well. Let me copy that shit. So, yeah. I mean, do you think that a lot of these motherfuckers, all of these shooters, woke up on the same day and said, you know what? We're going to read from the same playbook and we're going to inscribe shit on our weaponry and all of that shit just to send a message? No, they're copying after each other because they saw one do it. I want to do that same shit. Oh, shit, he did it too? Oh, yeah, let me do that shit too. Oh, fuck, all of them did that shit. I'm going to copy them and be just like them. So we're going to see a lot of this shit coming out of the pipeline with a lot of different people. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Let me say hello to a good friend. Good morning, good friend.
Good morning, JB. What's up?
Do you want to chime in on the conversation? We'll talk about Charlie Kirk's killer being captured.
No comments right now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think I need more information and realization to comment.
Okay, read the article on the Jumbotron. Hold on, Steve, because I want to say, BB, did you want to chime in yet, man? You've been quiet all morning.
No, I'm just listening, man. I'm waiting.
Got you. Steve, go ahead, Steve. Steve, that's the angriest I've ever heard you on Clubhouse, by the way.
And I don't know. I probably shouldn't have done that. Reason I want to talk, I want to tell CO, I've heard you more than one time. I think you're a decent dude. We just hit a wall there, man. I didn't mean to come off that bad, but I think you're a decent guy. Most of the time I've heard you talk, so it's just one of those things we had there.
Hey, Steve, man, let's take a beat and just say that what you just did right there is the best of fucking America, man, and that's what it needs to be about. And we should be passionate about things that we believe in and that we go through. And these are some tense times, man. And if we have more people, I disagree with you probably on a lot of the shit that you gotta say, man. But if we have people that were able to do what you just did, man, I think we rebuild the aspiration that we're supposed to be as a freaking country. So I appreciate you, man. And God willing, sometimes humans will work through this crap. This is a human issue. Humans can be a wretched species, no matter what party, color, or whatever you are. And this ain't just no random ass kumbaya. But when we're divided, I just want to go back to the pledge. If we're talking about being American and stuff like that, one nation under God, indivisible, needs to be the cue for this whole world right now, man. Because we're on some BS as humans.
Yeah, great dialogue, guys. And, to maybe piggyback off what Adrian was saying, man, I'm afraid to see what's coming next. Because we all know there's going to be some copycats out there, right? And that kind of scares me. How do we get to this place in America as a country? Guys, we're going to go popcorn style. If you want to grab the mic, all I ask is you respect the one mic policy. Thank you.
Hey, did y'all hear Trump call for one face in America? America gonna have one heart, one face.
One play.
This is great. I mean, one bite of this hot pocket.
He also said English should be the only language in America, which is not a reality. Anybody want to jump in?
Man, these people is crazy, man. I swear to God, they're crazy.
Hey, Adrian, for whatever it's worth, what part and when were humans not crazy and fighting and warring? We always talk about let's go back and all of that crap, like, but at the end of the day, you know, from when I look at not just the United States, not just the 13 colonies or the 50 states, but not just Africa, but Europe, every part. The world has been fighting wars forever between religion, races, and culture. And then Adrian, why do we get in here right now and act like this is some brand new shit? I'm just curious, like, why are we? Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. It's
I can't emphasize this enough.
Right? To a country that's been through what we've been through. Why do you think that's the case? Why do we act like this?
Safety.
Because I think we hope people evolve.
And obviously empathy for humanity and life as
nature that we
conversation.
And this isn't exclusive to color or culture, because humans been fighting each other, demonizing each other, destroying each other, enslaving each other, you know what I'm saying, maiming and killing and raping each other.
For at least 10,000 years.
For thousands and thousands of years, you know what I'm saying? It's never not been like this on this wretched planet of Earth with humans that are stupid.
But the interesting piece is, one of the unique things about America is that we're a distribution from the mean. The mean in governments throughout time is some sort of aristocratic, oligarchic kingdom or empire. And America has decided that it wants to live in a place where we govern ourselves. One regular debate I've never forgotten, which is each generation has to prove themselves worthy of self-government. The idea was that we could all be different, all live together without violence because we would want to govern ourselves versus letting other people govern for us.
Which is the best year that lived up to that ideal, Marshall?
I don't think there ever was a best year. I don't think America became an empire and a force for good in the world because we were somehow unique or picked. I think America did some of the right things over time in terms of military strategy and elected presidents. And obviously it's not all good. I mean, every country who turns into an empire has a mixed history of both good and bad. But I think it's because we did foundational things,
Marshall,
rather than just because we were lucky.
Marshall, I think, I'm going to guess that you probably were too young to remember Reagan. I'm not. And when Reagan was elected president, right, we had just come out of the Carter administration, which was, I'm sorry, it's a horrible administration. I felt he was one of the weaker presidents. And Reagan instilled this patriotism in America. I don't care what side of the aisle you on, whether it was Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent, right? We were force-fed patriotism. How did we come to this point now, right now, in this country, where we have our president getting on his bullhorn screaming how it's the far left who does all this and causes all this chaos with his words? How did we get here in the last 40-plus years?
Offices that were supposed to be for those who governed and cared about their constituents started to have incentives that were more about power and money. That one of the things the founders relied on was that we would pick good people. There's a story about this dude named Lycurgus. He was fighting the Greeks, and he was a member of the Senate. And the guy who was the general on the other side asked for a meeting. The guy went to the general's tent. The general took him to another tent, and it was filled with gold. And he said, "This is all yours if you just fuck off." And the guy said, or is supposed to have said, that the esteem of my colleagues means more to me than the money and power that it will bring. In America, there's always been a tense battle between rank ambition for power's sake, and people who genuinely care about governance. And we have come to a place where governance and politics have become mixed, despite the fact they're different, number one. And number two,
we've come to a place where governance hits people more like rule than actual governing because we've mixed the two up. And I say that because it affects voters and it also affects those who serve, right? I'm sure we can think of people in Congress that have rank ambition. One of the better examples I can think of is Ted Cruz in 2016. The classic figure in American history is Aaron Burr, who was the vice president, but was so ambitious that the rank ambition for power pushed him off. We're at a place where the rank ambition for power no longer disturbs Americans. And that is a very bad place to be in, because it means we're going to have people who get into politics not to govern for the public, but to serve their own powerful ends. And unfortunately, republics don't always survive when that happens. Lastly, the one thing people can do, there's a book I read called Mortal Republic, and at the very end, the guy says, the Roman Republic didn't fall because of some conspiratorial plan. It fell because good people did nothing. That's Americans have to, as Reagan said, it's only ever one generation from losing freedom. Americans have to believe the fact that we can govern ourselves even in as complex a country as this. And the negative stuff makes it that much harder to see the positive building we need to do together. I hope that at least sort of answers your question.
Thank you, Marshall. Appreciate it. So, guys, you have a pink ticket, cash it in. Joss, Milanese, Armando, Brandy, I'm calling all you people out. Lady, Jessica, Greg, Sire, Chad, Carrie, I don't even know why you have a pink ticket. Cash in your tickets. Guys, this has been a great room. I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to give everybody one chance to speak back up before I close it down. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, JB. Like I was telling CEO a while ago, I got kind of off the rails, and that's where we are. And, we each carry our own burden. We need to be a little respectful of each other, of what burden we carry. Have some empathy for each other. But more than anything, JB, we're all in this game together, and we can't tear each other apart. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Steve. Anybody else before I close it down? Last call for alcohol. All right, great room, guys. Nye, I'll hit you offline. Do another room later. Guys, have a great day. Be well. Be safe. If you hear something, say something.
Yeah. Well, they have terrorized actually like all the four corners of this planet. We can say that as a fact.
Yeah, this Zionists, everywhere when you see some blood, something wrong, then there is a footprint of them.
It's not Zionists, it's white. It's white. White. It doesn't matter if Zionists or not. Just white people.
You can suppose so, because we have black Zionists as well. We have Middle Eastern Zionists.
There's always been a history of people who are slaves. They end up, siding with the oppressor. That's a very small minority, so that's irrelevant if there's black Zionists or not. Probably could count them in your hand. It's relevant.
Welcoming
the black Zionists going to shooting up people in schools? No. That's white people that do it.
So wait, I have a question. Walaikum salam. I have a question, Resistance. The Ashkenazis, regardless of them being Jews, you still see them as white?
They are white. I don't say it's not what I see them as. They're white. They identify as white. Their culture is white. That's what they are, white.
They do not identify as white.
Yes, they do. They surely don't identify as Asian. They definitely don't identify as Arab. They identify as Europeans.
They identify as color.
White.
They're Khazarians, North Caspian, They're originally from there.
No, that's understandable. Once again, I'm not talking about what people are originally from. I'm talking about what people's ideology and their brains and what they say they are. I deal with reality. Ask any Ashkenazi Jew what their race is or what they are. They're going to say they white.
White is right.
They'll never say they're black. They're not going to say they're someone of color. That's an insult to them. They white.
I think you're making that up.
No, it's a fact. I live in the second biggest Jewish state. I live in the second biggest Jewish community in the world outside of Israel, New York City. Ask any one of these fucking Ashkenazis if they're black or white. See what they'll tell you.
I think Nagas is bothering you.
Let me think about it. Would an olive-colored skin human being, almost brownish with curls, a yarmulke, ever identify as white? Like
no, I think but those people who are probably olive color and wearing yarmulke, they're probably Sephardic or something. They're not Ashkenazi.
Wouldn't Ashkenazi identify as white? At all times.
The dude,
all are white. Like when they let's
the dude
be
that pushed
honest.
Kurt's wig back, what was he, Jew or Christian?
A lot of them identify. No, I'm telling you, especially in the 50s and 60s, because there was so much anti-Semitic, so many people being racist towards them. They just white passed. They even changed their last names.
And they turned into Judaism in 7th and 8th centuries. I mean, they were not Jews at the origin, you know. In 7th and 8th centuries, many of them turned into Judaism. These Khazarian Jews, I mean, Ashkenazis.
And actually, they picked up the Babylonian Talmud. You know, there are different versions of it, and like the Babylonian Talmud is actually the evil one, the satanic one, and it goes back, you know, to the time of those two angels. Like it's about magic, basically.
I have heard that Bibi Netanyahu origin is from the Poland. This claim was by the Pepe Escobar. He's a well-known journalist from the I think he's from Argentina or Brazil. He could be from Brazil, but he's well-known. Pepe Escobar. He says his family and Bibi is from the Poland, and even put his name, what his really name is. I have him somewhere. I'll find it. Share with you guys.
Damn, this guy's father's a real piece of shit, yo.
Yes, and many of them are from not origin in Israel or anything.
I'm not talking about those white idiots no more. I'm talking about the shooter who shot Charlie Kirk. His father turned him in.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, we were the other day talking. They captured the release two guy, and you were joking. Yeah, he's not. He doesn't look like Arab enough or Muslim enough. They released.
No, he looks like what usually assassins and terrorists in America look like, white.
Yeah, and then we're so glad actually they find the guy, and actually he's one of their own, and has nothing to do with the Muslim or being a black or anything.
My brother, once again, that statement once again doesn't make sense. There's never been an instant where an assassin in America politically has ever been anyone of color. Never. That's something that white people do.
Me and you, we know that. We know that. We gotta get the voice out there.
I ain't trying to convince a bunch of idiots. Fuck them. They've been living in a fantasy world, and they're gonna kill you. That's because they're all racist. I just think that his father's a real scumbag. His father turned him in.
So Scotty, apparently they welcoming Scotty back, and apparently the latest is they have the guy who actually assassinated Charlie.
Who is he?
He is a male, 22.
He's a 20-year-old white boy from Utah.
White boy from Utah.
The one wearing glasses, a skinny one?
Family name Robinson.
You've never been in the army before. How you know this?
How the heck did he shoot that shot?
I know.
In that level of security, he's been backed. In that level of security, he's been backed by a service, by an intelligence service or something. I'm sure, because it's not so easy to get so close to the target in that level.
Well, not only that, because she asked the question, how did he do a good shot? Because most gun owners in America, legal ones that are shot in ranges and people that hunt a lot, are white people, and they are usually really good marksmen.
Okay, so I go to the ranges too. I mean, sometimes I go with my friends too, and a 200-yard shot to that precision with all the surface area he had on the face and chest and etc. He chooses that weekend. Was it a fluke or what? Where he just goes for the jugular weekend.
It's a part of their culture, these white ones in the US, I mean the rednecks, all of them have guns.
Yeah, I know.
It's a part of their culture.
I know.
Unbelievable. I can't believe he made that shot.
But how did he make that shot, Darren? It's a 200-yard shot.
Because he's probably been shooting that rifle since he was probably 8 or 9. That's why.
Yeah, true. Another there you go, resistance. Another reason why you shouldn't be shooting guns and having guns.
Well, not according to Charlie Clark.
Yeah.
According to Charlie Kirk, says it is necessary and
for the safety.
And look where he is.
Yeah, that's why I said no one should feel sorry for him. He said it is a necessary evil, the deaths that happen in America, for us to have that Second Amendment. The good outweighs the evil, according to him. Perfect.
I feel sorry for his family that's left. That's what I feel sorry for.
Oh, I definitely don't feel sorry for them. He was raising a bunch of other white supremacists. It's a disease.
Karma gets you.
That's like saying you feel sorry for the Nazi children. No, we feel sorry that their parents. I feel sorry that their parents were scum and raised them that way, because they're innocent children. Naturally, just like his children are innocent children, wish no harm upon them. But the reality is, their father was the harm. He was the one who was going to teach them these radical thoughts and ideas, like a lot of parents do in Israel.
I feel sorry and empathy for almost everything and everyone. For the first time, resistance, I haven't felt that. And Wednesday was right, we can talk about it. We don't have to empathize or sympathize with it. Because I'm starting to see that as someone, who would influence kids in the future and the collective in the future, he propagated freaking exclusivity and racism. The reason why the very genocide is happening in Palestine, it's because of exclusivity. We the chosen ones, we the different ones, we the chosen, you the goyim. So then the whole advocacy for guns, then furthermore, just the hate for the black people, hate for Jews included. This is a bit much. You see what I'm saying? This wouldn't have been a good push or an influence for the collective of America or the Gen Z for the future, especially since he targeted the Gen Z. The irony is a white man, a white little boy must kill you, using the same thing that you're advocating for. Wow.
You're banned from mayor's rooms now, Nargis. I'm banning you. You're getting corrupted going over there.
Why? In what way?
In the first time you don't feel empathy, that's not like you.
I feel empathy for his children, and I feel empathy for his wife. And no human being should die like that, right? No human being should die, and no freedom of speech should ever be hampered. I mean, this is America, and freedom is free here. No one should be assassinated for expressing their mind. I think.
Yeah, but I'm of the belief that with freedom of speech comes it's got to come with responsibility. You've got to be mindful of what you're saying and who you're saying it to and who you're offending. Because there's no need to go out your way to offend a group of people. If you believe them views and that's your opinion, then keep it to yourself and don't spread it. But you know the one thing that really annoys me about this whole story, nobody's even said it that much. Look where he was. He was in a college campus where young minds are affected and absorb more than anywhere else. And there's a far right wing, somebody who's got the wrong ideals that I would want my kids to have, just like they did in the Hitler days. That's exactly how they started with the Nazi movement and the Nazi, the Hitler youth, and that's how they indoctrinated them. Was by going and grabbing them at a young age and. Nobody's even said a word about them being at a college, which I just think that's completely disgusting that they were there. Out of all the places, you had to be. I wouldn't want him at my kid's school anyway. Welcome, David. Welcome. Don't know who that is. I don't know how to say your name, but welcome. You got anything to add, David? And anybody down the bottom want to come up? Just raise your hand. Come up. Hand raising's off. Ahmed, George, Sam, Bon Jovi, Alan, and Kieran. Come on up if you want, guys.
And Scotty, you had no idea. A guy from Somalia came up and he said, "I will kill you all Jews. We will kill you." I said, "Hey man, there is no Jew here. We have no value." He was so mad. He said, "I'm mad. I'm gonna kill you all." I said, "Hey man, take it easy, bro."
He has his gun in his hand, man. He has his AR-15 in his hand.
Yeah. Well, they've actually caught him then. And he wasn't who I thought he would be. What's your take on the subject, David? Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get in the room to get the understanding. Are we talking about what happened with the political leader in the United States or somewhere else?
What political leader?
Yeah,
Charlie.
Charlie Kirk was not no political leader.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are you calling him? He was
I would call him a political dick sucker, fucking
activist.
Fake, and he's not an activist. Who he's activist for? Who?
He's an influencer.
That's all he was. He was a fucking propaganda mouthpiece for the Republican Party. That's all he was.
Right. What was Charlie what? Kirk.
How the fuck is he a political anything? He's never run for public office of no sort.
Alright.
Right, we stand corrected.
No. That's what they consider him. People say it. I just don't get it. When that man's never run for any public offices. He's not part of any. He's never been part of any government agency. He's just a normal citizen that took it upon himself to do political commentary. That's it.
Did you ever listen to all the disgusting stuff that came out of his mouth?
Of course, he's a piece of shit.
All the other influencers, right? Like, they're not absurd.
Religion-wise, Palestinians-wise, the land of Palestine-wise, and the list of, if a 10-year-old girl gets raped, right, 10-year-old, and she can survive delivering the baby, yeah, she should deliver the baby. Right?
Like, they hated the faggots like you.
What?
They hated the LGBTQ like you. You must love him for that.
We may not want to get into that sort of conversation, but Mr. David, hi to you and welcome in. And let's hear from you what you're thinking about this person. And apparently they have the guy in custody. He's a 22 young male from the Utah. What is your take on what do you have to say?
Well, first of all, I want to thank my brother for correcting the information, man. I think a lot of times when you see stuff on social media and in the news, and I'm not a student of his history or background, so I want to thank my brother for correcting that. Yeah, I just saw on the news. I heard on Fox 5 they caught the person suspect and how he was on Discord talking about it. You know what was going to transpire, and I was like, dang man, social media is at the point now where people would do anything and just post it and do it, man. It's just crazy. So when I came in here, man, I was like, wow. Let me just listen for a minute. But I really want to thank my brother for setting the record straight, because I don't want to say somebody is in any position or what they're doing, and if it's not accurate. So I'm in the classroom of learning. But when somebody does their life, man, it's like, and then they post it on social media what they're going to do, and next thing you know, somebody's gone. It's just, my brain is not in that frame of mind to accept that as normal. You know, we see kids post stuff online, then they go shoot somebody or do something at that school. It's like, it's just unbelievable, man. Some stuff we see take place. We just came off of 9/11 and all of us affected by that. We affected by COVID. You know, it's just like, there's times in these last 111 days in this year, I mean, 111 go to go. I just have to wave my head sometimes and just like.
Why does it say "fuck you, Rabbi"? Did you piss off Danny?
Oh, I get that. Yeah, because she came in with what's his name, Jacob, and they're bringing grandma from another room. It's like, yeah, nobody cares.
Gotcha. I don't know if I know who Jacob is, but I probably do, but I probably don't. You know, old age gets to the brain.
Jacob, old age gets to the brain. Hey, you do know Ron Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is old as shit, but he's cognitively there. Do you know Thomas Sowell?
Yeah, but it doesn't make me cognitive there.
Yeah, but he's 93. He has 30 years ahead of you.
I'm 95.
No, you're not. You're like...
You're like 90, I'm 90.
She's late 50s.
I'm 90.
She's late 50s, early 60s. That's what she is.
Do you think you were born yesterday?
Maybe. Could be.
Although she sounds much younger. But yeah.
I'm really 87. It's the truth.
No way.
Yes.
No, you're 58. You're 58 is exactly what you are.
You sound like a 62-year-old that maybe smokes.
I smoke a lot. I smoke all day. I like to smoke those cigarettes.
She drinks coffee.
I drink coffee in the morning.
Jay, there's
Get
no
my
way.
spat out. If anybody bothers me, I beat them.
Oh, say hello to Sheikh Mustazibbi.
Hello, Sheikh Mustazibbi.
Any
Is that Sheikh Mississippi?
No, Mustazibbi means suck my dick in Arabic.
That's not
Mustazibbi. Yeah, no, it's actually something you'll never forget now.
Hi, Sonu. Good morning. Sonu was very funny last night.
Oh, Shabbat Shalom.
All day. Not within 3 months, or because I have a role which is very similar to yours, where I travel at times.
What the fuck are you playing? What is that?
That sounds like Riri.
I kicked Riri also. I kicked all of them.
Damn, what happened today?
Nothing. They just come in and they start, Riri is doing her drunk shit, which ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, she told me she wasn't drinking because I asked her how much she drank today.
She's obviously drinking.
Yes, I know.
Anyways, I don't care much about Riri. I know that the Jewish community on Clubhouse for some reason cooks too much for her, but me personally, I don't know why you guys do that.
Cook for me?
No, not you.
Not for you.
Really? I don't know why you guys do that.
Well, because...
Can you it's okay, we're one big family here. Can you admit that she's retarded?
You're either fully in or you're fully out.
I'm out. I'm fully out. That's
okay, well then, pack it up.
That's exactly what happened. That's why she got kicked. She literally was kicked for being black. Literally.
Rabbi, are you talking about Sona's ass?
Yes, Riri, she's drunk as shit. Nobody cares about your Somali half-baked ass.
Rabbi, do you want a piece of Sonu's ass?
So I don't know. I don't know if I want a piece of Sonu's ass.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, what's wrong with Sonu's ass? Rabbi, you love everybody, so what's going on? What's going on? I like everybody's ass.
Actually shocked.
Yeah, me too.
I thought we were kind of dating.
We kind of did. Ah, that's beautiful.
I thought I was your fucking girlfriend.
Oh, child. Well, Rico, you should check Global Terminal. There's been a crazy update.
Clear what you're asking.
What asking you?
My laptop that I
What's happening is it's getting obfuscated.
Well, you don't have to go and check it, nigga.
What happened?
What's your moral line?
Global Terminal.
What's your moral line?
Moral line? I think you're
It's like
saying
alternative to Bloomberg,
Okay,
and it's
good.
obviously
Good,
not
I
there
like
yet, but
That's all you got?
and
great for
update. Yeah, when you actually.
This processing. Look, I did some processing. If you don't want me to share it, that's fine. We can go on.
Well, I mean, I was interested in what you were saying. It was as soon as you started saying the what about thing, I was like, okay, you can have that conversation in like 5 different clubhouse rooms right now.
I think Charlie Kirk's role, that he was, the gold mine that he was drilling, was to be pushed back on other people's narratives.
Oh, so it's just a pushback. He didn't really, it wasn't his views, it's just a pushback, it's just a reaction, just a response. See what you just did? You just did it about.
I suspect that he doesn't really have views because he's an algorithm machine.
He wasn't a human, so you're saying he was inhuman.
I'm saying that the public persona, the act that he played, was the consequence of an algorithm.
Okay, was it a person in charge of the persona, or was a persona just this floating and?
Well, people can get mixed up in their work in ways that are complicated.
Who got to buy the nice house? Who got to buy the nice cars? Who got to go to the nice places and eat the nice meals at the nice restaurants? Was that the persona, or was that the person? Who benefited from the?
Yeah, it's a package. It's a package. You know these things. But look, an actor takes a role, right? Let's say an actor plays a part in a movie and it's a villainous part in a movie, and then after he's done acting, he goes and drives his nice car to a nice restaurant. I wouldn't confuse the act with the actor.
Really? So what about the impacts of the act? And by the way, good morning, Sam.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't take this anymore. Benjamin, you're losing this argument, okay? You're not. Just say, all right, dude, it's too early in the morning, haven't had my coffee yet, I'll talk to you later about this. Because you're making absolutely zero sense.
All right, listen, I am happy to listen to Sam make some sense on this. And Sam, it's good to see you. Good morning.
By the way, Benjamin, did you know that you're black? Because
is it Byron or Mo who's sorry, Sam, really quick, I just want to get Mo in after you, Sam.
Dr. James also want to answer your question.
And you can come, you're on the phone, so you'll be after Mo.
Go ahead, Mo.
Sam, you're up first.
No,
Sam, I want you to no, Sam.
I was gonna make a sassy comment.
I need the sassy comment to get through this moment, so I need you.
I was gonna say, Benjamin, did you know you're black? Because I talked down to you, and I.
Oh my God! Okay, never mind. Okay, forget it. No.
Good morning, Sam. We love you.
No, I was accused of being a racist for behaving that way, and so I'm like, I've been behaving that way towards Benjamin for 4.5 years. I guess Benjamin's black.
Mo, you're up. I regret censoring Sam.
I warned you.
Okay, I don't even know if I can articulate my thought. Let me see if I can go there. I was at the beginning there. I was following Benjamin's what he was saying for a minute there with YouTube, like with the algorithm and whatnot. Like, I feel that some people, when they put out their material, like when he was talking about the likes and whatnot, that what they say and what they do can be influenced by what is getting more likes, and that can sort of guide what they keep on continuing putting out.
Like that British comedian that he's like famous for being in AA and doing psychedelics and being all spiritual. What's his name? Anyway, go on. But yes, I've heard that the positive reinforcement of monetizing certain views makes him amplify those views. So
yes, and I think that could go for anybody who's trying to put out content, on their pages. It's like, okay, hey, if I'm gonna put a booty shot and a bunch of people are gonna like it, I'm gonna put out more booty shots. Not that that's something I would ever do. It's just, it's just this reinforcement that people get, and I think people can get caught up in that, and yeah, like, so I just wanted to say that, when he mentioned that point, I felt like I could agree with that aspect, but that's it. And then I know Marshall wanted to answer the question. And
Marshall, did you hear all the quotes or enough of the quotes? Are you familiar with his?
I heard them all. My opinion.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
My opinion is still the same. I think the comments are despicable. It's not somebody I would have in my private political group. But just like you said, nobody deserves to get shot down like a dog in the street. The only point I was trying to make about governance is that political violence, if you go back from the 20s to now, which, I like history, and so that's kind of what I do. The point I was trying to provide was that political violence, when it gets more acceptable, just eats republics. So I don't support the stuff you said.
What are your thoughts about far-right people calling for the hanging of political figures on the left as Trump was on the problem?
To be clear, Dr. James, I don't think it's good when anybody does it at all. I don't think it's healthy or responsible. It's bad when the right does it. It's bad when the left does it. Right. It's bad when the middle does it. That's essentially my opinion. Political violence is bad. It shouldn't happen. We shouldn't, we shouldn't say this dude deserved it. The Republicans are getting a little back what they failed to give in incidents where the opposing party asked for solace and we didn't give it.
So my question was about people getting fired, though. That's where we started. This was a Rolling Stone article about people getting fired. What are your thoughts about people getting fired because they're commenting on the character and the legacy of the person?
I mean, if somebody the day after he got shot said something.
Oh, so there's no free speech on that day. When does free speech?
Let me ask a question. If somebody said, "Hey, this kid deserves to get shot," I can't tell you what an editor would do. I think freedom of speech applies. People should be able to say horrible things. In fact, I'm sure you will agree with me. You don't need the protection of the First Amendment when you're saying shit people agree with. You need it when you're saying shit people don't agree with. So that's about my long and short of my view.
But I mean, do you think people should be fired for their jobs for essentially they were familiar with this person, the legacy of this person, maybe they had family members that were really impacted by this person in a way that for them didn't feel very good, and then they said, well, I'm sorry for the families, but this is what I saw in the person, and yada yada yada. When people do that, I mean, do you think that
I wouldn't say somebody deserves to be fired, but I have a serious conversation about manners. The guy got shot a day ago, and we're already doing this. I wouldn't fire the person, but I would definitely have a conversation. Do you really feel like this was appropriate one day after he got shot? I don't feel like that shit's appropriate when the right did it with the Speaker of the House in Minnesota. I heard shit people said that I really didn't like about that.
Do people kind of in the MAGA sphere, do they have good manners? Is that what it is? Is that what they bring to the table?
No, it's me. I'm a person who thinks manners matter. I was raised with good manners, and so I think at least this was my experience. In the wake of him getting shot, in the 6 hours after he got initially shot, there were already people coming out going, well, he said a bunch of fucked up shit, so maybe he got what was coming. Right? Like, I wouldn't say that shit in public. I don't think it's healthy or helpful. But I would fire somebody over it.
All right, thanks.
I had a quick comment, James.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know the old aphorism in journalism, if it bleeds, it leads. I kind of think that that's gotten extreme, and I mean, it applies to the internet too. If it makes them go, yikes, you'll get the likes. Kind of, you know?
Look, today feels like I'm putting you all in the hot seat a little bit, and I am, but it's really kind of more meant to kind of just sort of melt through into some kind of coherent. I'm looking for what do people really believe and feel about these things. I mean, I'm really interested, and maybe I'm going to come off a little spicy right now. It's just my mood. You know, I love you a bit as far as I'm concerned. And David, you're up. Speaking of spice.
Spice. Good morning. I just don't know if you guys have talked about. They think they have the shooter in custody.
Oh, really?
Basically turned in by a family member. And
$100,000 reward for that.
I don't think they did it for that reason. But we could jump to that if you really want to. I was going to say that he lives by Zion National Park. Coincidence. But it's not that close to Salt Lake, Provo, and the area where the shooting was. Washington, Utah.
Could you unpack this more, or if you have any comments about it?
I put a link in the GPT-5 response to the question in the chat. People can take it wherever they want to go. I don't want to infringe on their investigative journalism, but I was back channeling Chinga that it's ironic that Grok knew about the details before NPR, but that's probably where the funding in the world's going. But we've got some smart people in the room. Haven't seen Steve Cronin in a while. I'm curious how dystopian the racial profiling and Fourth Amendment vacation.
Good morning, Dr. Prince.
Good morning, and yes, it was his father that turned him in, and his father was contacted by, I think, a man from the church who he knew, who told his father that it
Did you know about the $100,000 reward for any information that led to the
yeah, sure. You know, and if I mean, would I turn my kid in for $100,000? Probably not until I got a lawyer and set it up a little bit better and talk to the kid.
Oh, I see. So they paid for the attorney. That's an interesting way to think about it. No, not what you did. That's like they kind of did effectively.
I don't think that Dr. James, although $100,000 is a lot of money in a lot of people's situations, I just don't think this has anything to do with the money.
I don't either. I think this guy knew that his son
completely
had
unrelated to the money. I mean, they flew Charlie Kirk in Air Force Two, his body. So, I mean,
if he doesn't take the money, then it wasn't about
resources aren't the issue here. This is terrorism, political violence, and a manhunt that the FBI's competence wasn't they truncated all the talented people in the government. Remember they turned the resources on Trump's political enemies, which was a lot of agents. Anyway, I mean, yes, $100,000 is a lot of money. I doubt it even gets paid out, knowing that this administration, like, who are they going to pay it to? If if somebody turned themselves in and didn't contact the FBI for the reward, you know, if you don't have your paperwork in good order, you don't even get insurance coverage. So I don't think the money's the issue here.
Seems like this person was really important to a lot of people, and yet I still don't understand why, except if he was just a popular influencer that people are just making a big kind of thing about.
At least on the political scene, it's because he organized and ran one of the largest grassroots groups in the country on the Republican side, and his groups are stationed at colleges, which were instrumental in getting the Republicans the largest share of the youth vote since Richard Nixon. I think that's why some people think he's important.
Trump basically said that it would have been somewhat impossible without Kirk's efforts on college campuses for him to win the 3 big states that he won, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and one other one. So basically Trump credited his win to Charlie Kirk and his efforts.
That's why they're calling it an assassination versus, say, just like a murder.
Yeah, they're calling it an assassination because the shot was taken from 200 yards away, which is not like I walk up from you and I'm 50 feet. It's not even like you're down the block from me. It's like 2 football fields where you can't hear anybody yelling, and where the shooter has to be incredibly proficient. So it's planned, methodical, and organized. Is why they called it an assassination.
I think it's an intended killing. I mean, not that hard to classify this as politically motivated, terroristic effect. Definitely an assassination.
Yeah, I think I agree with David, which is pretty rare. But I also agree with Marshall, right? It was unexpected that the Republicans would capture the youth vote. It was understood the Republicans would own the old vote. But to capture the youth vote was a surprise. Now, there's one other thing Marshall didn't say, which I think might reflect his prominence, and that is that the single largest predictor of whether you vote Republican or Democrat in the last election is no longer race, but whether or not you have taken on student debt.
Say that one more time. I mean, because I was a little disassociated or not listening to you until you said that last.
In addition to what Marshall said, there was an unexpected shift in the politics that might be attributable to things like what Charlie Kirk does, and that was that education became a huge predictor of voting performance in 2024. Was it? I forget now. But
So what if you had debt then?
Oh no, just basically if you went to school, if you went to school, you had one particular politic, and if you didn't, you had another, and that was greatly magnified in this most recent election.
Can you put your source for that? Just not that I don't believe.
Oh yeah, that I can do.
Because I just wanted the specifics. You said took on debt, and there's a difference between those that may have taken it on and still have it versus those that took it on and paid it off.
This is not really. No, I'm just using that.
It was a premise for your conclusion. So
yeah.
Better.
No, it's just a basket attribute, right?
Okay, Benjamin's basket. No, he's basket weaving. No, he's basket weaving. He's not willing to sort of land his point in actual ground.
I just didn't know what the specifics were. I'm not trying to pick a fight. Just there's a difference between taking on debt and still having it 20 years later, 15 years.
He's trying to say more educated people vote more to the left, and less educated people vote more to the right. That's what he's trying to say.
Well, you could say education because Charlie dropped out of community college.
I know.
How much of this education? What is he talking about? What's the debt? I like to dig into the details. I think because it should be near and dear to Benjamin's heart because I want to see the data.
Listen, we had a good conversation, Benjamin. But if you're going to kind of do that, you're welcome. Obviously, totally welcome here. It's just people may react to it.
And that's fine. The thing that education or not, right? And that question seemed to be more in this last election than it has been in the past.
So you're saying by him politicking at the schools, that was how he had a real impact on
I
Yeah.
think that what he is doing is he is
It doesn't matter. It's anonymous.
areas in which academia is weak.
He doesn't have me blocked.
Amplifying those weaknesses so that people are aware of them. I think there's more of
Yeah, of course, but it's a new account, so he hasn't blocked the new account. And he wouldn't know what the new account is anyways because
in the past,
is he a plus? Yeah, he does have plus. I'd have to view his profile, and then he would have to view who viewed him, and then figure out who I am.
What's your
So.
perception? What's your opinion?
Did you hear?
I'm saying that's a perception that Charlie Kirk has.
Yeah, did you hear yesterday that woman and other people losing their shit also in the Facebook chat? I was getting screenshots of the Facebook chat.
Oh yeah, they trust me.
I know.
Can you tell me? Biggest fans, me I've taken so much shit. I'm an unapologetic Kitover fan.
See, I think I have some Democratic, you know,
Can you make that connection now?
Or even social.
Yeah, well, I think that it's the Marxism, right? When you get the Marxism, the postmodernism, the neo-Marxism.
Women should stay at home, and what are you doing, having an opinion and shit like that. All that stuff that Dr. James read. Yeah, are you now saying that Marxism is for women's equality, and because Marxism is bad, then women's equality is bad, and women should be subjugated to the will of their husbands? Is that your position?
It's not my position. I think that
please jive your position that he was bringing up criticism of academia with the words that Dr. James read that he spouted.
Okay, so sure. So let's take a classic paper that has been pointed out in the past. I've used it.
Like Charlie Kirk.
No.
There's a specific here because we're not grounding this with Charlie Kirk's
Yeah,
views.
so
we're grounding them with your views. I don't want your views, Benjamin. We know them.
Don't talk
We're
about
familiar
other
with you.
people. What other? I want you, Benjamin, to jive Charlie Kirk, his words, with you, Benjamin, your opinion. I'm not talking about anybody else's paper. I don't care about anybody else's paper. I just want you to jive Charlie Kirk's words with your view that he was attacking Marxism in academia because academia is weak. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a Marxist thread within academia that drives through group narratives, group positioning, this group versus that group. Marx fundamentally was that there was a conflict between two groups of people, the workers and the owners of corporations.
I'm sorry, was my question that incomprehensible that this is the answer that comes back? I thought my question was very simple.
And this dialogue of pitting one group of people versus another group of people is sometimes like replicated in racial relationships, replicated in gender relationships, replicated in special gender relationships, etc., right? It becomes a this versus that. And
we're not talking about so Republicans
what are you talking about?
Conservatives are Marxists because this narrative of pitting people against each other is now being done by the Republicans, and Trumpists, has always been done. They've always pitted blacks and whites against each other. So are you telling me that the Republican Party has always been a Marxist institution?
Well, let's be a little more basic than that. You know, this university is in Orem, Utah. That's a very, very by the Mormon Church, and it's hard to believe that this was a Marxist infused college campus. Of all the college campuses in the United States, this would be the least likely to be Marxist.
That may well be, but one of the things that Charlie
Can we just put an
on a regular
observation,
basis.
Benjamin, real quick? This was the starting point, the first stop on the Turning Point campus tour for the fall. It was tour stop on the T-shirt, band appearance number 1. That's why it was hit. He lives in Utah. Let's put a little. I mean, I'm not doing the investigation here, guys, but let's not pull from the entire Easter basket here.
Look, Charlie Kirk would do this sort of thing. He'd go on campus and ask the students what their thoughts were on a variety of things, like, can men have babies? And then the students would give answers that they've obviously been indoctrinated to give in their classroom, and show that their answers are completely ridiculous and inconsistent, baffling, and completely out of the mainstream, right? The mainstream of America does not believe that men can have babies.
Yeah, the mainstream of America believes that women should be subjugated to their husbands. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. But when you have somebody showing
I asked you to jive your opinion with what Charlie Kirk said. And now you're telling me that he was saying the things he was saying in order to attack the mainstream stuff in the culture. And so, according to you and according to him, women being subjugated to their husband is a mainstream ideology, then that has to be reinstated into college campuses, correct? I mean, all I did was I took your words and I made a syllogism out of it. I'm going to give you another chance, Benjamin, even though I'm not a mod, but if you could tell me how you jive your opinion of Charlie Kirk.
I was under the impression this wasn't going to be a debate room, but I feel like
it's not a debate room, but we're just asking you for your opinion and or your position, and I think what Sam is doing is fair. It's just a question. It's just a question.
I'm not debating you, Benjamin. I'm just asking you a question.
It's not a debate. I mean, really, it's the opposite. It's curiosity. He's really trying to understand where.
You have no idea what my argument is. I'm just asking you to make an argument before I can even consider whether I can counter it or not.
Or even just give you his position. It doesn't have to be an argument. Just give you, you're asking a question.
Yeah, okay.
Benjamin.
So, look, I just wanted to add something to what Marshall said. Marshall said something I think that was.
No. Okay, listen. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do the thing where I'm the mod, blah blah blah. No, you can either answer Sam's question, or we have new people on stage that I want to.
The only answer I have to Sam's question is that I think he's constructing a straw man. I never said that women should be subjugated to their husbands.
Okay, you just said under the debate. You said straw man. We don't want to do.
Okay.
That's fine. He doesn't want to answer.
Yeah. Okay. It's fine. Yes.
Good morning, Chinga. He doesn't. Fine. I totally respect that, Benjamin. Hey, Chinga. Good morning. How are you? Today we're all gonna be like frogs. No, Benjamin. No, Benjamin. No.
Well, Captain James, I think that what's happening is called
You can have opinions, but it's not your turn.
You keep appealing to the authority to get bailed out instead of answering the question, and then every time you get the microphone, you play whataboutism, pivot, or deflection, and it's everybody in the audience is aware of it by now, and it's just a waste of time. If you want to keep him on the stage,
no,
that way.
I don't want to keep him.
I want to try
Benjamin, you can come up once everybody's had a chance to speak. Chinga's a new voice, and Dr. Frenzy wants to talk. So, Dr. Frenzy.
I want to talk about why it is that people are becoming so radicalized. You know, the conversation, I happened to see the moment when Charlie Kirk was shot, and the conversation was about whether there were how many trans mass shooters there were, and the person who was asking the question
was said to carry a
was trying to elicit from Charlie Kirk, I think, because of course I can't really tell. The person was trying to elicit from Charlie Kirk that trans people are mass shooters. When someone is allowed to be trans, they become a mass shooter, or there's some connection. You know, and that's really where the moment literally ended. And
the gun itself is a very
the guy's father said that he had become increasingly politically radicalized. And we don't even know in which direction he became radicalized, or whether
in the murder direction. We know that. We know in the murder.
Well, that's radicalized.
No, that's becoming an assassin. I mean, that's.
Yeah,
we don't know any.
We don't know why he became radicalized. And as long as we continue dividing ourselves into left and right, we will never solve it.
Oh, well, he was apprehended alive, so we're going to solve this. We actually will get to solve this problem because he's going to get to go to court. I mean, unless he gets muzzled, I don't know. Do you think that's what's...
I don't think he'll be muzzled, but I think, they'll give him a tranquilizer or something. I don't know. It depends on how he behaves.
What I mean is...
Commit suicide.
He could, you're right. That's right. He could, air quotes, commit suicide. You're right. Or he could literally commit suicide. But we've got Chinga and Stephanie up. Chinga, I want to give you a chance to speak. This is the third time I'm asking, and we can go to Stephanie. Stephanie, if you'd like to comment.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and let me just for everybody, the context, the way this came up today was I was talking about a Rolling Stone article I read last night right before bed where I read they're firing people for having any kind of opinion about the person, the legacy of the person who was recently assassinated. And I was like, oh, this is how...
Can you describe the extent to I hear that some people are being fired, or they are?
I read an article in Rolling Stone. I asked the group, did anyone else read this article? I will post the article to the top, and then you can answer your own question.
Yeah. I just think that they are firing people. Is that
people have been fired?
Lawyers.
People have been fired. Hold on.
And I think that absolutely, when there's political violence of extreme nature, with 300 million Americans, anecdotally, if Rolling Stone wasn't able to find somebody, I think that they would not be doing their job. They couldn't find somebody getting fired over this. And the existence of, mining social media for the most ridiculous takes, finding out if that person got fired. Absolutely. I would expect it. I kind of hoped for it, but they probably weren't employed by the government. So it's not violating their First Amendment right.
I posted it to the top.
They can have a suit against their employer. I mean, we have a bunch of private actions that occur in our country. So this is wonderful.
Stephanie, I was just trying to give you that context because we've sort of veered, and that's fine because that's what we do here. But that's kind of where it started. Just to, just so you're on a level playing field with everyone else.
Yeah, I see the phone emblem on my thing, but I'm not on the phone. So, so I only have a minute because I'm on my way out to a bike ride, but which I recommend to everybody as kind of getting your stress out through exercise. So I said in the chat pretty much what I wanted to say is that I don't think this is the time for character assassination. You know, when there's been a political assassination. And that's one thing. The second thing is, which is the tendency is very alluring.
Well, what I did was I read quotes. I didn't have an opinion.
I heard that. Yeah, well, that brings up my second point is I understand the tendency to read those quotes and the summary of those quotes, but I also think I saw that list of quotes.
You didn't because I made it. You didn't because
okay, well, I saw a very similar list was sent to me, and I researched it. Not all of it. I didn't have time, but I said I wanted to see the videos of the person. I asked AI, send me the videos of the person saying these things because I really wanted to. I know who he is, but I hadn't ever really listened to him in more than a news clip here or there. And so I just want to be sure it was not fake news. So one of the quotes I researched was the quote about dying for gun rights. And if you read the context of the quote, the entire context of the quote is about we die for other rights every day in our country, such as the right to drive. People are killed every day and are willing to take that risk. And so his point he was making in that, I'm not defending him. I'm not aligned with him. I'm just saying that the point he was making in that particular one quote was that people die for the rights to do things all the time, including driving. And so there's going to be a cost of lives for gun rights. People are going to die to exercise those rights. So that brings to my point that I think people need to see for themselves what's real news and fake news, and they need to have context and quotes. Reading a list of quotes. I want to dig in. I want to dig in. Wait. Before you do the added girls, I just want to ask you a question to clarify something, maybe deepen what you're saying a little bit, and I really want to hear your comment. So, do you think framing avoidable death as an acceptable cost of ideological purity and aligning with the extremist rhetoric that normalizes mass shootings and discourages reform is a productive manner of framing a dialogue? Because essentially, that's a connection I'm making with that. Is what? Can you repeat that, please? Because you're blurry. Yeah. So
that's a good question.
If it's for Stephanie, that Stephanie can respond to, and you're being honest, it's an honest question to deepen the conversation and not to inflame it. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Sam, go ahead.
No, why don't you?
No, well, one question at a time. Wait.
Yes, that's fair.
Wait. One question at a time. Dr. James' question, or now you're deferring to Sam?
Yeah. No.
We're continuing with Dr. James.
Stephanie's rules. We're asking her the question, and I think we're not dealing with Benjamin right now. I want to be very respectful because I feel like she's giving us a very she's owning her position here, and I really want to.
Stephanie is awesome.
What? Yes, but we don't need to add a girl yet. Let's just Stephanie, I'm going to rescind my question temporarily because Sam asks really good, pointed questions.
Okay, go ahead, Sam. All right, I just want to know. I don't want to be playing, hopscotch here. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So my simple question is that first of all, driving is not a right, and we don't engage in dying or driving in order to protect our right or privilege to drive. So I'm not sure if that analogy works. So I'm going to ask if you are aware of any other constitutional right in the United States that on a daily basis people die in order to protect those. Or is gun ownership, Second Amendment, the only constitutional right that requires the shedding of blood for its consumption?
But you're asking the wrong person, Sam. Stephanie was just quoting Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. No. That's a question that that.
I think. Okay. All right.
And so if she's. I didn't know.
Okay, so I think you're bringing up the question not for me to really answer because I haven't done the research and I don't know the answer. My inclination, my gut tells me there's probably not, but I'm research and fact-based, so I'm not going to just throw out and say I don't know or I do know because I haven't had the time to research. I appreciate the question. I think it brings up, it's not really a question, it's more of a critical thought that this conversation is instigating. So I appreciate that. But the answer to you is I haven't had time to research that and I don't know, but I doubt that there is one. But that's just a gut thing. And so I also wanted to say that I also put in the chat about the campaign called Unfuck America by a political operative on the progressive side who would go around to the Charlie Kirk campus talks and they would try to get in. They weren't always let in because they were an organized campaign and they would bring in other kinds of, podcasters, streamers, etc., that could conduct themselves much the way Charlie Kirk does in terms of fluidity, being quick thinking on their feet, smart, but on the left side, and they bring them in and try to get their people in the debate room, because in certain universities or certain contexts, he would be sitting in a more intimate setting inside a building with a table in the middle, and then the person coming out to debate him would sit there, and it would be a longer conversation, not just a one-off question like we saw in Utah. And so they would try to get their people in there to have more of an equal footing in debating the issues. So I just wanted to put that in there to say, and she's kind of controversial. I mean, she has her critics. She organizes it. She doesn't do the debating, but she organizes it and finds the people to debate. Found the people to debate him. But I just wanted to, I think it's important to know that there are other stuff going on. And I'm not saying that they were as inflammatory as he is or was, but they would give him a run for his money. And it got to the point where Turning Point started to try to not allow them into the events. So they would have to kind of sneak in and get tickets surreptitiously. But anyway, so that's, I don't, and regarding the firing, I believe it was NBC or CBS analyst was fired. I haven't read the article, but I believe I heard yesterday that a CBS or NBC analyst was fired because of their response. And, Matthew Dowd, that's right. And I don't know what other, but it's beyond this event. People do get fired for saying things that are considered not aligned with the brand.
I'm going to read what he said really quick because I have
all the time. But do you agree, Dr. James?
Do you know Matthew Dowd? I'd like Dr. James who he is.
I'd just like to read what he said.
For a decade. He's a political pundit on a major network.
I'd just like to read what he said. It's very quick. He was fired for this. Basically said Kirk was constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech aimed at certain groups, and then he added, I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which lead to hateful actions, and I think that's the environment we're in. So that was a quote he was fired for.
Yeah. So anyway, people get fired for less and more in our culture all the time for saying things that hurt their brand. The brand does not agree with, and they get hired for it. So do I think it's okay? I mean, I don't know if it's not I don't have it's American capitalism. If you're not aligned with your brand and you're saying things publicly, even if it's in your personal life, you can get fired for it. It happens all the time. So I don't think it's unique to this situation. And my main thing, though, is I'm not going to do any character assassination on someone I disagree with right now out of respect for the fact that a human being was murdered and has a family and friends and people that loved him and miss him, and I don't think it's an appropriate time to be doing anything that's going to be character assassination on a human being.
Stephanie, quick question. Do you believe it's character assassination to read the exact words said by a person who recently...
Well, are you going to read the positive things he said? I mean, are the non-attack things he said?
No, just
context.
It's character assassination. The term is very specific. I'm just asking you, is it character assassination to read anything he said?
Well, of course, it's not character assassination if you're reading loving things that people say.
But if
When
they
you're
said
reading pointedly things that a person is saying that fire up people and that have led to really extreme... I don't think I need to spell this out. I think it's not an appropriate time for what you did.
So is it character assassination to read something that someone said without an opinion about it? Because I didn't give you an opinion.
You don't have to give an opinion to trigger people.
Is it character assassination?
I don't know. I mean, are you going to get that? I don't know. I would lean towards yes, but that's a leaning towards yes. I don't think you're opening it up, and I feel like it's baiting people. And it's clear from what people have been saying here that it's baiting.
Would you be willing to read us a bunch of very wonderful things that he said?
I don't have that list, and I'm going on a bike ride. I just responded because you invited me up for a few minutes, and I just feel as if we all need to bring the temperature down, 20 or 30 degrees here. So I think I understand, what's going on in our society and why we're having a lot of these conversations right now. You review a history of someone's life when they pass away, if they're prominent. It's normal. But there are, I can say character assassination about Martin Luther King. He wasn't perfect. He did things that would trigger people, and people didn't say it after he died. But they said it when he was alive, and then later after he died, they did. So, there are all kinds.
Question for the room. How long is the right amount of time to wait to be able to have free speech about a free speech advocate? What's the right amount of time?
It's too soon for Abraham Lincoln. I get triggered every time I hear that.
Oh my God.
I'm just asking you. I just want to know. What's the right amount of time? Let's figure this out. Let's make this scientific, and then we'll be respectful of that.
It's not scientific, Dr. James. This is not scientific.
I'm being snarky. You are
being really snarky over and over again. And even that question is snarky.
Let me give a cultural touchdown. And buried first. For Stephanie's purposes, wait till he's buried.
Okay. All right.
He'll probably lay in state for a month. But whatever. For everybody's got different comfort levels, so that's why it's obviously a tough issue.
That's fair. I like that, actually. Personally, I really like that. I think that's something that I put a pin in it in my brain. I'm like, yeah, that feels kind of nice. Let's wait till someone's in the ground.
That's going to be probably in 2 weeks. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I like that. I think, that was interesting because I was being snarky.
Just waited until I'm in the ground and they talk bad about me all the time, especially Sam.
We wouldn't get the benefit of you hearing it.
No, that's not what we're talking about. I'm not saying you can't talk bad about people when they're alive.
Who said I'm alive? You have proof that I'm alive?
You're not being
fake news. You are fake news. You're potentially
Boy, if I had to wait till people are dead...
Sam, you're up. No, you're up.
No, I was just saying I would have to, shut up forever because I only talk bad about white people. How can I wait until, like Chinga, like Benjamin, if I have to wait until they're under the ground, it's like... I'm gonna die of boredom.
Sam, I want to make out with you right now.
I think
baby.
The essence of the question here, regarding the Rolling Stones article, I haven't read it. I'm going to read it, but I think to me, one of the interesting parts of this question you're raising, Dr. James, is the division between what you're saying when you're representing a company and what you say in your private life, and where those two, meet, and when does the overlap happen, and then when are people put at risk for their jobs because of their freedom of speech in their private life versus their job responsibilities or their reflection of what they say on the brand of where they work. So that, to me, that's the interesting part of this discussion you're bringing up.
Thank you, Stephanie, and I appreciate you playing along. Yes, you were a little bit in the hot seat, and it wasn't intentional, but there was a lot of good fodder. I couldn't stop myself. Steve, good morning. Welcome. So happy.
Hi, hey, good to see you. Look, I would say with regard to this whole conversation about the assassination of Charlie Kirk and his views, the idea that this is a moral question, I think, is absurd. I mean, this is like having a moral discussion about putting your elbows on the table during dinner or spitting in public. I mean, these are not things that have an ethical component to them. There is no ethical component. This is just a question of individuals' mores and taste and, appetite for conflict. This has nothing to do with morality. Some people don't feel comfortable talking about Charlie Kirk's repugnant views at this moment because he was just assassinated, and that's completely understandable. Other people feel it's very important to talk about them, and that's understandable. The idea that there's a right or wrong answer on some ethical dimension is ridiculous.
How about the firings? Like in this particular case, would you frame it the way kind of David and others framed it, with it's just he said something off-brand?
Firings bring us into a legal dimension, right? Which again is not ethical either. Right? I mean, when you're in an employment relationship, now you're talking about a legal relationship. Employees have certain protections in certain states, not in others. They may have constitutional protections if they're public employees. And those are the considerations that everyone was talking about. No one was talking about the ethical consideration, right? Put aside this situation, just any situation in which an employer has the legal right to fire an employee. Does that answer the question about whether it's the right thing to do? Well, of course not. The two are loosely related, but they're just different questions. So if you're asking the question, do they have the legal right to fire someone? Well, whatever, we can do the legal analysis. Is that really very interesting? If you're asking the question, is it the right thing to do? Well, that's a more complicated question.
That was a complicated question I was leaning into. Maybe not the right versus wrong, but more the question of, just kind of, I wanted to simmer in that a little bit and talk about that a little bit. And in particular, just really quick, because something in the article that I read was really quick. The irony of this termination and slew of similar firings over the past 24 hours is that Kirk and Turning Point USA, the conservative youth group he co-founded, branded themselves as the ultimate defenders of free speech in a June debate at Oxford Union during a tour of the UK, in which he condemned the country for its totalitarian censorship of its citizens. He argued, you should just be allowed to say outrageous things. Last year, Kirk posted on Max, hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment to keep America free. So it was kind of like the firings and the tape that Rolling Stone was taking on it. I thought, that'd be kind of an interesting dialogue. I mean, aside from sort of the obvious conversations people are having right now.
I mean, look, my honest reaction to that is that it's a clever little angle, but it's really irrelevant, right? If you really think about it, whether the gentleman at MSNBC was fired for saying something in connection with Charlie Kirk, who had some opinions about the First Amendment, or somebody else who never said a word about the First Amendment.
Donald Trump's campaign.
It wouldn't make any difference, right? There's a certain irony there, or a poetic parallel. but it's irrelevant, right? Whether he should have been fired has nothing to do with whether Charlie Kirk cared about the First Amendment. So it's really just to me, it's just a soundbite. It's just an angle for an article. It has nothing to do with the potentially serious question about whether MSNBC did the right thing by firing this guy. I just don't think it's just drawing a parallel because it makes good reading, not because it informs the answer to the question. It doesn't. It's irrelevant.
Thank you for that.
And the scale is a bunch of these teachers are put on because they have contracts. Teachers have contracts. They can't fire them. They put them on suspension and things like that. So I'm not saying that Rolling Stone needs to sell magazines or anything, but losing is doing a lot of work as a verb in that headline.
That's fair. And, this wouldn't be Let's Walk Together if I didn't say this is Let's Walk Together. We've talked about this or anything you want at any time. If you're up here, it's just honor system, be kind, be maybe a little gentle, though today has been lacking in, I think, a little gentleness. Keep it classy, borderline classy today. And then,
did anybody see any surveillance videos of or photos, anything looking like a long rifle that would be like not breaking down? Like a Ruger, or whatever kind of weapon that was. It's like 47 inches long. You can't put that in your pants. And
what about that lynch they were saying he was walking?
You can't. He jumped off the roof.
Before he jumped on the roof, when he was walking to the event, before the event happened, I saw a video where he's went.
Put it in the chat. I haven't seen it. No description. 40. I mean, it should go up to beyond your waist. It wouldn't hinge at the knee. So let's see, maybe. But just details to follow, but questions to ask.
I mean, what are the craziest conspiracies about this that you've heard? Because I've heard some real dude.
Oh, I don't want to spread those. That's not what.
Okay. Let's not.
Social media. I mean, you already put your top link is a Rolling Stone article, for fuck's sake.
You're right. I'm like, this is really lowest common denominator. Okay, so we're gonna take that down now.
Pop culture as a source.
That's fair. I take that critique. I also take the critique that I was being a bit inflammatory earlier as well. It's fair. I think it's all fair. I mean, it's not the general character of the room or the intent here. I just, I couldn't help. So, here's what's happening. We are at a little bit of a lull, and Benjamin wants back up. Does anyone want to have a dialogue with Benjamin one-on-one right now? On stage. Because I don't want to do the thing where we slip into the Benjamin show right now. So, unless someone has a direct conversation they want to have with him, Benjamin, just come back on Monday. Hang out. Okay, let's try. Here we go. I'm going to try it against my better judgment. Let's see how it goes. Benjamin, welcome. What would you like to say? John Malincrot. John Hoover Malincrot.
Well, I'm not going to let Benjamin just be up here and, without somebody to correct.
Thank you. So John and Romero v. Benjamin.
I'm here.
Yeah. John, you missed Sam. There is a replay. Sam was doing a good job, and I tried. But Benjamin said something I said was somewhat off the short bus or something. I can't remember what the compliment was.
Well, it sounded like there'd been an incident. I just got it.
It started good, though. I mean, it started.
It's trying.
Let's talk about quantum healing. If Benjamin's on stage, there's an incident.
Okay, so let's do this. John, you're up first. Romero, you're up next. And let's try to keep the conversation classy. Let's not do what I did with the interrogation. Let's just try to have a chat.
All right, I won't talk if you want it to be.
No, Sam, only Sam. Sam and Steve, the attorneys, the licensed, attorneys in the room, they can interrogate.
Well, I don't really have anything really to add. I just, I've finished preparing my bite. My bite of physics. It starts in half an hour. So I thought I would test out my club deck connection with you guys and hang out for a little while.
Did you say 9:30, John? Pacific
At
time?
9:30, yep.
Perfect. And we're gonna definitely
9:30.
close it down before.
Yeah, that's right. At the bottom of the hour, I think they say.
I'm just here to align my chakras and do some
Hey,
quantum.
BB, good Shabbos, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher, Kedeshanu, b'mitzvotav etzivanu, l'chadlik neshel Shabbat, b'nei pri hagafel.
Your favorite chewing gum from your childhood is going to make a comeback, and the dead still don't rise from the grave. But they will on Tuesday, February 5th, 2045.
Did any of you see that Peter Thiel is going to be doing a 4-day lecture in the Bay Area on the Antichrist? How's that? Good.
Did you see the interview with him with this Christian podcaster interviewing him? He's like, do you want the human race to
הרחמים והסליחות